Hi, everybody. This is the special edition of A Guy with a Scarf and a Bit of Retention Zone. My video podcast focus on everything sports and media tech business, but also streaming monetization specifically. I have the pleasure to have with me Thierry Fautier, who volunteered to try to answer my now famous, I would say, no, not really, or unfamous maybe, questions about the streaming revolution. You hear for entertainment article that I extracted from a piece from the New York Times. Question number 7.
To stay competitive, I think we see traditional media companies have made a move, especially in the US. Fox, Disney, Paramount, NBC all have a digital presence. The broadcasters in Europe are taking their future in their hands with their own apps. And you saw recently TF1 in France, M6 have developed the whole platform on an app that sits on any connected device, including pay TV. Meaning, moving forward, you can expect those companies say, if you want my experience, don't go to the channel grid of your pay TV operator, go to my app, which is a huge shift from a consumer experience, money flow, control of the ads, and so forth. And of
Yeah.
course, sticking to the young audience. It's a very disruptive. Broadcasters realize they need per country to get their act together. The bellwether was freely in the UK, what I call a DTT over IP, will show hopefully the way to other large countries that they need to work together if they want to be on par with the big streamers, the Netflix, the Disney, the Amazon, one who are dominating the market today. Traditional tier 2, tier 3 channels, I think, based on my US experience, I can see them moving too fast because there's no way those companies can continue to run a business in the 30 or 40 years old cable model.
But on this, I have to say, and that's a point that I think Evan Shapiro did, Amazon and all others that are creating multiple business model around just only streaming seem to have in the medium long term almost an unfair advantage, because Amazon could really be the, if they decide so, because the one that dominates everything in few years. Maybe not, but the fact that they can really create, even if I talked recently to Alex Logan from Prime Video, they say, we're a separate company on one way, but yes, we're not. We are in an ecosystem. So the power of the ecosystem seems, at least is a differentiator. Will it kill everybody else? Maybe not, obviously. But I think that from the moment that Netflix started to become a content creator and tech became tech and content, Amazon is much more than that, right? It's tech, content, e-commerce, blah, blah, blah. So that seems a tough one for the traditional media competitors, to me.
Yeah, but I can see the local broadcaster, especially in Europe, very popular in terms of audience, and they can monetize their audience. They don't need to invest a tremendous amount of money like Apple is doing, like, for example, sports right, very, very expensive sports right. They have already relationship with those content providers. But of course, if there is another bid of large streaming company coming from the US, it's not a fair game anymore.
Hold on. Question number 8, super popular hype of the moment, but also true transformation.
Okay, first I'm
Slowly.
going to take my breath. Okay, so just for the record, I made a keynote on that topic at Mile High Video Conference, which is now available on YouTube, where I was presenting how the AI can transform the media industry. And I also published a very nice quest chart in my NAB AI report on LinkedIn, showing that generative AI is at the stage 2, strategy and development, and we'll need another 3 to 5 years to reach full production. So as I always say, you have to be able to make the difference between what a vendor is showing you and what you can commercially deploy. There's a huge gap between the two, and I'm not going to teach you that, Carlo. It's
normally when I was saying something, it was 3 months from launch. So no, I disagree in my case. No, I'm joking, but no, I understand. You know what I use? I use the analogy when people are super excited or super, if you want, unhappy because it's not what they thought. I say, hey, in Italian we say calma. Wait, we are at, like, imagine the iPhone. It's just when the iPhone launched and there was no app store even. So we are that time. We
Yes.
need to give a bit of time. We need to see 3 to 5 years, or in some cases even more, because already we're talking about something that the generative part, because AI, I mean, I was working with AI with my innovation lab in the last 10 years. Nobody cared, to be honest. But now
Same
it's
here.
November
Same
22.
here. Same here.
It's November 22. So say 1 year and a half ago. So November 23, yeah, more or less 1 year and a half ago. And there's a lot of, but the fact that he transformed everything, calma, we need to wait, we need to adopt, we need to see where it's useful. Everything is super fast in terms of the pure tools, but how they get into the workflow, etc., it will take time. So just don't be too impatient, but immerse yourself in the thing. I use 9 AI tools for everything I do. And very often I read these articles or posts, blah, blah, blah. I mean, are these people using all these tools and trying every day and seeing what works, what doesn't work? I don't know. If you don't use these things, I'm not listening to you. Sorry. Even if maybe sometimes the visionary don't need to be immersed. My style is I get immersed in things.
I have put a tagline at NAB, which was AI washing. I think it was IBC, AI washing. Like we have greenwashing, we have AI washing. Beware of what people tell you. Is it really AI? Can you check? Can you get the proof? There is a inference. There's all the stage of AI. You might be disappointed.
I agree.
Okay, to continue on the topic, pre-production, we know that Gen AI can be used for scenario writing. And I was talking with one of my friends is in the movie industry. He tells me, but if you put an AI agent to write a scenario, the scenarists are paid to do that. You will be able to assist them, but you will never be able to replace them. So that's also there is some kind of people dreaming that AI can solve all the problem, and at the end of the day, it's not the case. So take the example of the French drama with the election and the parliament, which has been dissolved by the president. Nobody would have thought that this could happen. And one guy decided to press the button and everything collapsed. So that's a very good scenario writing. He's doing something nobody was able to dream of. So I'll give you an example.
If you look at to stay in sport, Euro 2024, even if it was useless in the end, the Italian goal from the last game of the qualifying group at the last action.
Yes.
And Bellingham, which is with an amazing goal at the last action in the match. So we changed completely the Euro, basically.
Do you remember the final England versus Italy, where the 2 kids of England tried to score the goal, but they were so petrified the way they walked to the ball, I could see they would fail.
I remember that.
It's not
Comunque,
fair.
So stay on AI. Don't talk about sport too much.
Very good. Production. Video can now be created with generative AI. We see a lot of tools.
Yeah,
Is that mature? I don't think so.
No.
In few years, we will see production grade tools, but we have today subtitling, doubling, clip extraction. They can all be automated.
You tell me everything I create, which I think is very authentic, is done with a lot of these tools.
Yes.
I created 150 interviews or whatever episodes in my different channels in the last year. And I use a lot of those tools, and the content is still super authentic. People tell me, oh, this is really cool. I mean, but yeah, obviously I use a lot of AI tools. I'm alone. What do you think?
Yes, that's good. But I would say beware, you still need a QA department, because if you trust AI, you might be disappointed at the end. So you need to still review what AI produced.
You're opening, again, if people use AI tools, you obviously, it's not like you say something and then you leave and go on vacation. I don't know. For example, I generated something. I created a project with AI photography with 30 photos generated by AI, black and white portrait. So nothing to do with the unicorns in the parallel universe. I generated 1,200 photos to reach the 30 that I liked. So obviously, I mean, the more you are expert in something, the more, and if you're an expert generalist, I'm finding these current tools are super useful. And absolutely, you shouldn't trust AI, but you should iterate a lot. You should, it's like working with a team, right? So just be, but it's still impressive what they do, to be honest, even if you're
Yeah,
not at
yes,
the level where it's super impressive. But
very
you have to
good.
be super smart to use them. That's my experience, like direct experience. Sorry to.
Yes. So the next topic is close to my heart is the distribution. How can you optimize the streaming using those AI tools for better compression, better delivery? And I was happy to present a paper on this at NAB 2024. User experience, chatbot, recommendation, adaptive channels, all those things are coming to life. And I think people start to realize how AI can help in that domain. Monetization, very important. Targeted ads, call center optimization, churn
Mhm.
reduction, one of your favorite subjects. All
Yes.
this will be boosted by AI, but you need to know when to use AI for what purpose and what is the outcome you want to get. So don't think it will replace the human, it will assist more than replace.
Question number 9, but bit long and going in the direction you just mentioned.
Okay. This one is also, I need to take my breath. So there's plenty of content available out there. The problem is not the content, it's more the reach. And Amazon channels is a good example of aggregation of different niche content into one umbrella called Amazon channels. Content quality is a broad question. What I see is all catalog being revived thanks to the fast channels that creates community in a much more impactful way than dedicated long tail apps nobody watches. Social network will have a huge impact on content discoverability. TikTok is used now to bring younger audience to sports. I'm still myself an old fart on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I've not crossed the chasm yet, but I can see that replays can be very nice on YouTube, and Instagram is a very good way to snack some content on my favorite player. Churn is a big problem for not only the platform but also the content owners. Sports is showing the way with fan care, where fans are taking care of not only during but before and after the game. And of course, AI will play a big role in this whole profitability, but this is probably for a next podcast.
No, I think clearly I was talking to people already at IBC 2023, and everybody was clear that profitability was the focus there on the floor, as we say, and the fact that understanding how, and I spent the last, to be honest, 1 year focusing on retention, churn, etc. There are so many stories, if you want, and so many different solutions. And normally, at the beginning, you think, okay, that's the marketing department problem, right? User retention. Why should I care? I'm in technology. I'm product. I'm content. And the more you talk to people, the more you realize that understanding the solution, understanding the problem, and finding the solution together is the only way. And I was talking today with Matt Collier, and he was telling the story of how we did it in the last project he worked on. And basically, it's about taking all the data you have and looking at them all together, product, tech, content, business, marketing, honestly, without preconceived solutions, where you use the data to demonstrate that you should spend money in a new feature or whatever, new technology, or sending emails or whatever. But I think it's true. So you really need the whole whatever company, or to work together with, okay, should we, is the problem the type of content, is the problem we promote the content, is this feature that is missing, is this device that is missing? So it's a super sophisticated combination of functions that have to find a solution for churn. And sometimes is consolidating with another company or bundling with another company, maybe. So I think it's where the streaming challenge will be defined for the next few years. I think how you understand, in the end, is how do you understand consumer, the one that you have today, but also the one that you will get tomorrow. Because the moment you get a consumer, you're already starting to think retention. Otherwise, it's not something you can wait a year to think about, right? The moment you define acquisition strategies, you already define this retention one. Otherwise, why are you spending so much effort and money to acquire someone, right?
Yep.
And that's why I have retention zone presented by Kling, obviously. It's fascinating matter to me. Last question, no, because it's 12, it's not 10, sorry. Question number 10.
So this is also an interesting topic. We see global content still not global, like Warner Bros. Discovery just launched in Europe last month. Paramount Plus and Peacock are still shy.
Yeah.
Local content strong in Middle East, Asia,
absolutely,
and free-to-air broadcast in Europe is the strongest content you can think of for local content. So this is also showing that there are strong content providers who have a very good position, will be difficult to unseat by global content. There will always be appetite for local content, and the problem is local content producers need to get their act together to fight on equal grounds with mammoth streamers. And this is why I like the Freely example in UK, where all the terrestrial broadcasters are basically getting their act together to have one app against the other guys. And for me, that's a good way to fight at a local level.
But I think that it is fascinating because on one end, local content is crucial. I mean, culture will be destroyed if there is only global content, to me.
Yes.
You want that diversity, no? On the other end, the global franchises, one are like, and again, it's Netflix, to be honest. Maybe before Hollywood started with the big, the big brands, Marvel or Star Wars. But those are, if you think, tiny exception that happens once or twice a year. Netflix and now the others are creating series, not every day, but
every day. No, but every week you have, let's put it that way. Every week you have, let's say, 10 new series. So every day you have a new series. That's why I say every day.
So that's a fascinating, for sure you need diversity, but maybe you need diversity that can scale. I don't know. It's super fascinating in terms of, because you need both, to be honest. Also because global, I mean, you can see global only as a bad thing, like because you're, uniform in taste and everything. On the other one is also something that creates worldwide communities for a series or for something. So I don't know. It's a good challenge. Question 11.
Okay, I need to get my crystal ball. Hold on. Okay, still there. So for me, AI will change a lot of things on how content is created, distributed, and consumed. Let me throw a real life example at you. So I'm a fan sports. I take a match in the middle. I was late. In some service, start over is offered, but that's all. Is that really? No. First, I don't want to see the score when I come. I want somebody to tell me to see the score, click on this button. Second, I want to have a highlight of all the action I've missed with voice command. Do the replay of all the goals. And of course, at the end of the match, I want to review all the key actions.
But you know that I launched that 6 years ago, dynamic highlights?
Yes.
Sorry, I can say fucking. Launched it 6 years ago, and it was called dynamic highlights. And it was, I think, implemented in some football big events. So you go there, And if you're late, I know that you came for the first time. I show you the highlights of whatever happened that is crucial, and then you start
Yes.
watching the game. And if you
Yes.
come back, I know that you lost the last 20 minutes, and I just show you what happened in the last 20 minutes that you missed.
That's very nice.
So
The question,
without AI, to be honest,
but
but now
Carlo,
we can do it much better.
the question to you is that was it deployed at scale?
Yeah, yes and no. So partially. No, but we told. Sorry, it's not me showing that I was smart. It's like saying these things are there, and that's why I think we need some brave innovators that take one or two of these innovation and try to make them adopted at scale. And then if it fails, it fails. One thing that if you want, one frustration, very often we have this innovation, but nobody really wants to try to the end of saying, okay, it didn't work. Forget that, like watch together. Fantastic. Useful? Yes, no. Have we tried? I haven't seen, okay, this can be bad to say, but it's almost midnight. So someone that really tries the innovation. There was PT Sport doing certain things like that. There were
Yeah.
others doing, but it's always we try one and then okay, 3 months and then 6 months and then something change in the hierarchy of the management and we stop,
Yes.
or we change name, or we. If we want to innovate, we need to be courageous and try. Or we say this is people just want to watch video. This is all useless. Yeah, I had people say no. I want to be there with the beer in my hands and just watch football. Could be,
Yeah.
not sure why then all companies are losing money because the young generation are not watching anymore. So I think we need
thing
some
you
real
touch a good
innovators to move.
you touch a good point. The new generation, when you show them the TV experience, they challenge you and they say, but you are consuming the content like 20 or 30 years ago. Why? It's a fair question.
Absolutely.
And that's
Yeah.
why people say gamification is going to change the way people consume the content. People go on Twitch, and when they come back on TV, they say, TV is so boring. So you need to listen to the younger generation. And I think that's why we need to be more open, have more the ideas of the young people telling us we want something different. We don't want to consume what they call appointment TV. We want to consume the way we like, on demand when it's live. It's a challenge for our industry.
Yeah, but on the other end, it's also short term against long term. In a moment where profitability is an issue, you would need someone that has the long term vision of trying this innovation, different innovation consistently, not just try one for Euro and then forget about it. In 3 months, you try another small thing for the tennis. And I mean,
But
we
let
we
me
need
give
some
you an
true
example.
innovators with the money to do it.
Let me give you my perspective. I know you can do metadata tagging of content today and buy the metadata from one supplier to the other. We pass to the CMS, we pass to the set-top box.
Yep.
But there are so many intermediates in the ecosystem, that it's complicated and costly to do it. If the service provider can himself do a voice to text Gen AI search and point you directly to the right moment of the game, it's so much easier to implement and deploy.
But for me, and then we close it, otherwise it's too long, Apple TV could be the ideal player to do something like not in this specific, but in general to do innovation like that. But
Yeah.
again, we'll see.
You notice I didn't give any name because I don't want to take any side, but
No,
you
okay.
can see there are many contenders for those innovations.
Last question, finally. And it's the first episode that in 2 minutes will be in 2 days, recording in 2 days.
Okay. Content creators are all waiting to get more tools to make their content available to more people using streaming technology, but also social media and fast to make their content ubiquitous. The streaming platform give a way to have a more engaging experience, what we call the holy grail of interactive TV. You probably worked on application 5 or 10 years ago. When I started longer time than this, interactive TV was the holy grail in the year 2000 at the peak of internet bubble. Social media are a way to funnel content in a snack consumption mode to the masses, and it's mostly mobile focused. Fast is a way to reach more people on TV with a laid back, but also a large scale, and for some profitable. We start to see some profitability numbers coming from the fast operators. So at the end of the day, there will be big impact, but we need to funnel all those technology in a way that can be easily consumed by consumers.
To be honest, just because it's exactly midnight, I think what I see is content creators as a general terms are normally scared. They're scared by AI. They're scared by new technology. They, in my view, they prefer to continue to do what they used to do. So that's a big problem because it's not the up and comers, the big names. These are the professional, the big guys, content creators. The creator economy is coming from the bottom, very often unsustainable for the creators, but is defining content formats together with the social platform or whatever, that ecosystem. And I think the left side, the big guys or the content creators of the big guys, they really need to wake up because it's another disruption that is coming otherwise. And we see a bit of cross-pollination. So some, the big names learning from the content creators or acquiring content creators, like the big one. But I think we need more innovative content creators. Don't be scared. I mean, I understand disruption can come. It could be very dangerous for what you do. But if you resist, you can resist a bit. Unless you're my age and you're retiring in a few years, maybe it's not a smart move. You need to try to understand what's going on and take control of it. Especially because ideally you're very good. So I'm very polemic at this time of the day. I shouldn't record that late.
I think there's also a marketing reason. If you want to keep the younger audience, you cannot show them the TV soccer match like we had 30 years ago. People are not engaged. They want a better experience. They want to gamble. They want to talk to their friend. They want to have low latency. They want a lot of things because they don't understand. You tell them, no, this is not possible. Oh, you have to wait another minute to get the content live next to your neighbor who is on DTT. People don't understand. They say, why is that? Is that the progress or is it the regress?
And you think it's only, I agree. I don't think it's only the young generation. It's people that are used to are super served or are served in a different way from different experiences and just don't want to be bored with the old stuff.
This is why I like the companion app concept where you keep giving to the people the old-fashioned TV experience, but on the app, you get the score, you get the stats, you get the comments from your friends, you get the social network feed where you can watch when the game has no action. For example, let me give you the French team. They didn't score a single goal in the 4 matches. It's boring. It's catenaccio. They play in defense and they don't want to do anything else. So
yeah, but they
they're
score
still there.
penalty well.
They score penalty. They have been learning after that. But I'm saying that sometime during a 2-hour game, you are not fully focused on the action. You want to do something else.
So Thierry, we came to an end. Thank you
yes.
for really taking the time and go through one by one. It has been a marathon. I'm not sure who reached this point in the video, even if I edit it. And I've been extremely radical in my views, but again, it's late night, so
it's my pleasure, Carlo. I know you work very hard to make the streaming, especially in the sport domain, understood by everybody. The devil is in the detail. It's not a walk in the park. There are a lot of twist and turn, and I like when you tell me how this idea 10 years ago I made it already. But for me,
no, sorry.
It's not the fact
That's
that you
true,
did it.
Unfortunately,
it's not the fact that you made it happen 10 years ago. Is my question: was it deployed at scale on all the devices?
Absolutely not.
That's the question.
Va bene. So thank you. And by the way, we didn't say I'm in Torino, Italy, and you are in
San Francisco, California.
Oh, that's cool. Grazie. Thank you again for taking the time, Thierry.
Grazie mille.
Ciao.